Good afternoon to all of you, the dignitaries and already present in this area. So my topics is that the exploration that we have so much heard about from the morning about the mining, but the role of the exploration in case of a sustained mining or is a resourceful mining or is a full-fledged mining, that is the role of exploration was in this case. So the role of mineral exploration taking a part like from the experience of this mining, but we know that almost in the most of these cases that about 7 to 8%, about 10% exploration can get a good resource of mining. In that earlier stage, that there are lot of exploration prosecution is there, lot of exploration perspective is there, but with the long times that some of this exploration may fruitful in the mining sector, some of this not. So that my topic is on this exploration, how it gets in that, and particularly I give thrust to the state of Odisha, where that lot of mining activities takes place and also where that exploration is done and the lioness shares is done by the Geological Survey of India State Unit Odisha. We know that in that case of exploration, we have get that minerals into the two or three commodities is there. One is the bedded type of deposit, another is the lensoid type of deposit, another is the placer deposit. In the bedded type of deposit, coal, bauxite, limestone, and also in some cases the manganese are there. That thing is that here that exploration is still easier that and the risk is less, and from this and most of these areas that these are successed into a good mining futures and the mining generally goes out. Next comes in the lensoid type of deposit and the vein stringers and the lode type of deposit. That in lensoid type of deposit, that is in the main cases is that in the manganese deposit, in that Bonai Kendujor belt, there are some lensoid bodies are there. While we are exploring this there, in some cases we have get extremely good manganese, about more than 40% manganese is there, but at sometimes they are pinching out and get no manganese. In that veins and lode type of deposit, that is in the gold, that is in case of the platinoid, that is in the case of the other things that rare earth and etc., that the copper also the base metal, that rate of success is generally high risk is there and rate of success is lesser that compared to the bedded type of deposit. Next slide. So we know that in Odisha that lion's share of this chromite, nickel, cobalt, bauxite, manganese and also the titanium bearing magnetite, and we know that in India that most sillimanite deposit that is in the Sonapahar in the Meghalaya has been exhausted, and now the sillimanite we have to depend on the beach sand is there, and in the IRL they produce the beach sand, and also the refractory industries they have really they are dependent on this beach sand sillimanite for the refractories used in the refractory industries. I have a specialization, I have a doctorate in the refractory industry, refractory and ceramics. So I see this thing from a very close view, that what is the nature of this raw materials thing, the difficulties in the refractories, not only for that sillimanite is also. Another is refractories main thing is that this is the magnesite that which is used as a chief raw material, used as a refractories in the iron and steel and the blast furnace. Now we have also see that there are substitute is coming up, that is the olivine. That olivine, that dunite is there. Dunite is a material which is associated with the chromiferous deposit and is a byproduct, but this dunite has several advantages over the olivine in that refractories industries, because it has a no sintering cost, it has a high corrodibility point, it has a high melting point, and no preheat industries are there. So the dunite can be easily get used in place of olefin. Next. So in that Odisha, there are several blocks are there, several areas are there where we concentrated about our exploration, and for that mineral industries that in that from this northeastern part of this Odisha, in that in the Madnasai and Keshorpur deposit, that it is the, I think this is the credit of the GSI to take Odisha into the base metal map of India. And in the last few years, 3-4 years, we have augmented more than 42 million tons of base metal in that Odisha. And with the, not only that of the base metal, here that this is associated with the significant amount of nickel and cobalt, and some areas also that nickel is substantiate is there, and we also augmented more than 2 million ton of nickel ore in that Odisha. And here also it is associated with gold, cobalt, silver and nickel. Another areas is there for the base metal. It is in the Eastern Ghat area, in the Adas and Ampuli sector, where we have get the copper, gold, silver and also the graphite. And here in this case, that one thing is we have to stand in the mind, that is the dual mineral policy. That if you sustain for mining for a mineral, sometimes we get that another minerals come which is also the economic in nature. In last cases also in that recent exploring area in the Uchapulli, Thakurpulli and Dondopani, we have get substantial amount of graphite, and sometimes the graphite exceeds manganese, and sometimes graphite is extremely associated with that manganese. So this will, that also in that iron, in that aluminum industries and the other industries, that there are a lot of titanium, vanadium and gallium is there associated with that iron bauxite industry. And recently in the Jammu and Kashmir, that lithium has taken into the pictures, and that lithium is also associated with the high silica bauxite deposit. Another is that already I have told that Uchapulli, Thakurpulli and Dandapani blocks in the Bolangir sector. And apart from this, we have really concentrated our think at the Eastern Ghat areas, because not only for that graphite and manganese, but also there are in some places where we get the very high deposit of that RE minerals, since sometimes they are in percentage. In last two exploration, we have carried out and we have get REs in more than 4 to 5% associated with that RE, and we think that in the recent future, these areas will be certainly get into picture of this RE map of the India. Apart from that, carbonated deposit in Gujarat and also some of this RE deposit in Rajasthan also. Next slide. So we know that with that advent of the green energy, that apart from that, as per the Paris Treaty in the 2025, that the demanding of this lithium, copper, nickel, cobalt is increasing, and also keeping on this track in our mind, that we also give you thrust, the Geological Survey of India now give the thrust on the that the strategic and the critical minerals, that includes copper, lithium, cobalt, nickel and manganese, and with this also we have get the sufficient deposits of the cobalt and nickel already, and copper in the Odisha also. Next slide. So you see that with that future, that from the 210 to 2040, that the green energies will get more increase, that electric networks and electrical vehicles and battery storage and other things that is based on the that lithium, cobalt and nickel will be come into the picture. Next. So this is the sum of these exploration blocks in that Odisha, that in the Bolangir district, in the Uchapulli, Thakurpulli sector, here we first got more than 31% of this manganese in the associated with the rhodochrosite in that manganese, that is the manganese carbonate, And in that most of these cases also in that Modnasai areas are there, these are all the things are the recoverable, and in the Moyurbhanj districts and the Keonjhar districts also we have take our exploration where that for this nickel, chromium and cobalt, that is the concealed deposit of the ultramafic areas, and also we get the sufficient values of the nickel and cobalt there in that concealed deposit. Next, this is the recent explored the base metal deposit is there in the Modnasai Keshorpur there. You have seen that lot of base metal is coming in forms of the chalcopyrite, which is associated with the nickeliferous deposit, that pentlandite, and also in some cases the molybdenite is also associated within deposit. Next. Now it is in the Eastern Ghats area, it is in the Bolangir also, that in the Adas and Rampalli areas also, not only that copper, cobalt and nickel, we have also proved sufficient amount of graphite, which is also a strategic and critical mineral and the strategic mineral for this country. Next. Now it is the Eastern Ghats, another area is the Tumundi graphite, where we get graphite that's in some cases that fixed carbon is more than 25% at places. So next. So this is the coal field that also you know that most of this coal field in India as discovered by the Geological Survey of India in Talcher and Ib River coal field. That is the two coal field. The Talcher is the largest coal field in the India and also is discovered by the Geological Survey of India. Next. So now regarding the report that handover that we have already that handed over 26 G2 report to the state government for auction and 23 G3 report in the auction, and some of these areas that Goraburani, Sagasai, Kalamang West, Gandalpara, Lasedda Pachari has already been successfully auctioned. Next. And the 23 numbers that it is the up to, and in this recently concluded Central Geological Programming Board, we have also handed over another 3 G4 reports, and these G4 reports also contains some critical minerals like tin, chromite and also graphite. Next. So with this thing in that our pictures that we have given priorities to the particularly that fertilizer minerals and the critical minerals and the strategic minerals in Odisha also, and we got some areas where we have not earlier think that there is a tendency of getting the critical minerals, such as the example in the Talcher coal field also we have taken in this year one RE exploration program where that we get a very high percentage of RE there, and we think that also that in this area we will also get the picture in that RE map of India. Thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.